Okay, the topic we're working on is called divisibility rules. The code is VW5, 8th grade IXL. And we have this question: is 869,457 divisible by 10? So, with the divisibility rules, you just need to know by looking at a number, you can quickly determine if it will divide by something else. Usually by looking at the last couple digits, the tens in the ones place. So if a number has a ones digit that is a zero, it will divide by 10. So since this is not a zero, the answer is no. Okay, let's do some more. Does this number divide by 5? The rule for fives is if the one digit ends in a 0 or 5, it will divide by 5. The reason why is if you think about skip counting, right? You skip count by fives, you're going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and so forth, right? Every one of the ones digits is either a 5 or a 0. So if a number ends in 5 or 0, it will always divide by 5. So this one does divide by 5. Okay, does this divide by 2? Okay, here's the rule for twos. Ready? Think about skip counting by twos. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and you can go on and on, right? But every single number that divides by 2 will have a ones digit that ends in either a 2, 4, 6, 8, or a 0. We call those even numbers. So if you have an even number, it will always divide by 2. So since this is an even number, it ends in a 0. Yes, this will divide by 2. Okay, one of the last rules I want to talk about is if how to determine if a number divides by 3. Because you don't want to sit here and take this number and write it out as a division problem. It'll take too long. You also don't want to cheat and use a calculator, okay? Because you will be in situations where you don't have a calculator and it's asking if a number divides by 3. So here's what you do. You take your digits, which are 7, 7, 4, 0, 6, and 5. And you add those numbers up. Okay? So we're going to take all the digits and we're going to add them up. So 14 plus 4 is 18. 18 plus 6 is, what is that, 24? And then 24 plus 5 is 29. So add up all the digits. Now, does this smaller number, when you add up the digits, divide by 3? It does not. It's a no, right? So if the number you get when you add up the digits does not divide by 3, then this big number will not divide by 3. So the answer is no. Okay? Okay. Another rule we haven't talked about is this number divisible by 9? Okay? The rule for divide by 9 is the same as the rule for 3. We add up the digits 1, 1, 6, 1, 0, 9. Add them all up. Okay. So 1 and 1 is 2, and 6 is 8, and 1 is 9, and 9 is 18. Now, if the number you get when you add up the digits divides by 9, then the big number divides by 9. Since it divides evenly by 9, the answer is yes. This big number will divide by 9. Let's click yes. 18 does divide by 9. Okay. And I think this is the last rule. I'll go through and check. But to determine if a big number divides by 4, just look at the last two digits. The last two digits are 0 and 4. If 0 and 4 divides by 4, then the whole thing divides by 4. So the last two digits are 0, 4, which does divide by 4. So your answer is yes. Okay, and then to see if a number divides by 6, okay? If a number divides by 6, then it has to divide by like I need my pen. Ah, there it is. It needs to divide by both 2 and 3. Okay? So it has to be even. So is it even so far? Yes. So it will divide by 2. And then we need to check to see if it'll divide by 3, which means we need to add up the digits. 6 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 6 plus 3 plus 4 plus 2. Okay, you have to add up all the digits. So 6 and 1 is 7, and 2 is 9, and 1 is 10, 16, 19, 23, and 25. Okay, I'm going to double check that real quick. Okay, so it is 25. I just wanted to make sure. So 3 does not divide evenly into 25. So since this big number does not divide by 3, that it will not divide by 6 because we have to have both 2 and 3. So the answer to this one is no. So I think that covered, oh, we have to do 8. Let me clear this out. And the last one, this is the last rule. We've covered them all. We've covered 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We haven't used 7, so I'm going to check to see if there's 7. This is 8, we did 9, and we did 10. Okay, so to determine if a number is divisible by 8, just look at these 3 digits, 172. Does 172 divide evenly by 8? Well, 8 goes into 17 2 times. The remainder of 1, we bring down the 2. 8 goes into 12 one time with a remainder of 4. So this does not divide evenly by 8. So the whole thing is not divisible by 8. Okay, we have a different type of question here. This one says you have to type in a digit, right? So 9,035,830 blank is divisible by 5. So we know if something is divisible by 5, it has to end in a 0 or 5, right? Let's put a 0 there. Something that's divisible by 8. So what could we put here so that the last 3 numbers are divisible by 8? So the way I would do this one is I would take the number 8 and think about 6, 9 blank. So 8 goes into 69 8 times, or 64, a remainder of 5. So what would this number have to bring down that would divide evenly? What 2-digit number? So think of your multiples, right? 8 times 3, 8 times 4 is 32, 8 times 5 is 40, 8 times 6 is 48. 8 times 7 is 56. So 56. This would have to be a 50. This would have to be a 6. Okay. That in there. And I think this will be the last one because the video is getting a little long. So it has to be divisible by 6, which means this last number needs to be even and the whole thing has to be a number that divides by 3. So our choices are 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. So let's add up these digits and see which number will divide by 3. So 5, 5, 7, 6, 7, 6, and 8. And I'll put a question mark here. Okay, so let's add these up. 10, 17, 23, 30, 36, 44. So 44 plus what would give us a number that divides by 3? I know what it is. It's going to be 1. Because 44 plus 1, oh, it can't be 1 though, right? Because it has to be even. So let's think about this. If I put a 0 there, it's just 44. 44 does not divide by 3. If I put a 2 there, it's going to be 46. Does 46 divide by 3? So you can test it out. 3 goes into 4 one time with a remainder of 1. Bring down the 6. And this does not go in evenly. So it can't be 0. It can't be 2. Let's try 4. So if it was 4, it would be 48. Does 48 divide evenly by 3? Let's figure it out. 3 goes into 4 one time. Oh, okay. I think this is good. 3 goes into 8 6 times because 3 times 6 is 18. So this has to be a 4. That was tricky, but the faster you'll do this very fast if you learn all of the rules. And the faster you learn the rules, the faster you'll be able to do most of your math.